Yo, what's up? So I'm gonna give you some lessons that I implemented on. Oh shit! No. I'm gonna give you some lessons that I implemented on myself to like that I noticed made me more confident, even though that wasn't the goal. So I think this could be quite interesting. So I wrote them down. Yeah. So the first thing is that chasing confidence and like chasing emotions, because that's essentially what it is. You're chasing this like an emotion, a state of being maybe, but emotion is at times counterproductive. So if you think of someone that's constantly chasing happiness, there's, in my opinion, a big probability they're not going to be very happy. Because when you chase something, you're basically saying that you lack that thing. Jeez, I gotta hear. You're basically saying you lack that thing, right? So if you're chasing happiness, you're basically saying you're unhappy. No, that doesn't mean you're miserable, but in some way you're unhappy. Because why would you want happiness otherwise, right? So if you're always trying to chase these things, always chasing happiness, always chasing a certain emotion, you're basically telling yourself that you have the opposite state of mind, or this opposite emotion as the main, like the thing that's really present in you. And so if you just like stop trying to want to appear confident, because most times people say I want to be confident. It's like, you want to be confident, or do you want to be seen as confident? Like, just be honest, right? Probably being seen, and there's nothing wrong with that. Okay, I'll be very clear. Who doesn't? But I think like being confident. If you think of people that are really confident, it's the opposite of that. They're not trying to appear confident. They just don't care if they do or don't. And that's the paradox. That it's like you're trying to be and become something, but while you're trying to become it, you don't get there. And so it's like an endless, pointless little like run on I don't know, a treadmill. Oh Jesus Christ, on a treadmill that doesn't like move. My phone keeps sleeping, man. What the fuck? Um, Slipping, not sleeping. Language block there. So yeah, stop trying to chase it so much, because in my opinion, the more you chase it, the more it just is further away from you, and you just don't get where you want to be. So the first realization, like, why do I want to appear confident so much? It's normal, yes, but at the same time, is it helping me? No. Well, if it is, then congratulations. I doubt it is, though. So if the answer is no, you go like, okay, then what if I just stop trying to appear confident, right? Because it's like being confident. It's not putting on a show so that people see you a certain way. It's acting the way that you think is correct, despite what people see and will complain about it. You just don't care. You become detached from that. Second thing, second lesson. So the first one is this, yeah, stop chasing it and let go. The second one, that confidence, real confidence, the kind that it's not by like telling yourself you're going to do it, you just sort of know. That's like the peak confidence. So imagine, let's make a little scenario. Let's say someone goes up to you, they're like, can you do 10 pull-ups in a row? If you've never done a pull-up, if you're completely honest, you're like, yeah, I don't think so. If you're insecure, be like, no, no, I can do it. Yeah, for sure. But regardless, if you want to do the pull-ups, you're gonna have to probably like convince yourself into doing it and be like, okay, I need to believe I can do it, whatever, and probably not gonna get it done. However, if you're a monster, right? You do like 30 pull-ups in a row or something great like that constantly, like multiple times a day for years. Someone comes up to you and they're like, oh, can you do 10 pull-ups? And you're like, oh yeah, definitely. They'll be like, Jesus, well, how are you so confident? And you're like, oh, I just know I can do it. Like it will be impossible to convince you that you can do it unless you were like, I don't know, sick or like unhealthy or something. Because you stacked proof, you stacked evidence. And I'll be very clear, do whatever works for you. Like if you actually see, if you don't just convince yourself, but you see that like believing in yourself and like having these things, whatever, causes you to actually do what's required, then congratulations. But but the actual results comes from just doing what's required, and that's what a lot of people don't realize. It's the doing that. Sorry, it's the doing what's required that is the magic. It's not thinking about pull up. It's whatever you do to do the pull ups. Like if I don't know, if I see these affirmations, like I notice, like I can see, I've tracked that I do 50, I do, I don't know, 50% more pull-ups, or it's like fantastic, like it worked. But track things. Um, but real confidence, the kind that's just people can convince you otherwise, it's just from having seen something happen multiple times in a row, and you're basically like you could bet all your life savings that it's going to happen again, and you can only do that by doing something a lot. And yeah, so just get doing it. Yeah, last one. Stop judging yourself so much. We all want to improve. We all have things we are sort of insecure about, or things that we don't like having or doing or thinking about or whatever. We're not perfect. We're humans and we want to be a certain way. We want to be better. It's just completely normal. I don't think you ever completely stop judging yourself. We're not robots, but try as best you can to just be pragmatic about it. If you judge yourself, does it help you? Does it serve you at all? Probably not. And in my opinion, in my experience, judging myself never really worked. Um, if you think, I think this is, I heard this a while ago as well, but it's like treat yourself like a friend would, and a real friend. That's incredibly hard. And a real friend wouldn't come up to you and like be judging you and like be like screaming at you or probably saying the things that you say to yourself so much. You'd probably leave that guy or girl or whatever, right? You wouldn't see them again. And you can feel like badass or whatever, like, oh, like it's not. Judging yourself, in my opinion, you can do things, you can do what you want without having to judge yourself and be like, okay, this works, this doesn't work. I want this to work more, and you just do what's required. And there doesn't need to be any judgment for it. If you think of like spending, and this is actually a good point because I think we oftentimes we judge ourselves for actions that we don't think, we don't believe are healthy for us, and oftentimes they can be like vices and ways for us to escape reality. But in my experience, if you're gonna judge, sure, like there are exceptions, but if you're gonna judge yourself based on it, all you're doing is giving yourself more fuel to use those things again, and it's like a sort of a never-ending loop where you do these things, you think it's gonna impact you, like judging, and you're gonna change, but you're not. You don't change because like the very negativity of that is what causes you to see those vices. And I'm not sure how this relates to being confident, but I think it's a good piece of advice anyways. Trying to think if there's anything else. Yeah, no, just be a bit more pragmatic in my opinion. Just don't judge yourself as much, and just think of what you want to get out of life and what you need to do to get that thing, and just do it. And don't judge yourself for not having done it until now. You're a human being. You can change your life in like quite quickly if you just dedicate yourself. So be kinder to yourself in the way you talk to yourself, but still have that sort of harshness in urgency. So yeah, time's limited, have urgency, but if you failed until now, don't like beat yourself to the ground, because why would you? That's my take. Goodbye.